This happened during the summer of 2018 at my grandparents' farm. They were out of town for a few days, and I was staying there alone to look after the property. It was supposed to be easy money. Just feed the animals, keep an eye on things, and relax. On the last night, I was sitting in the living room watching TV when I heard something strange coming from the cornfield outside. At first, I ignored it. Farms are never completely quiet at night. I assumed it was just a deer moving through the crops. But then something happened that didn't feel normal. All of the cows started mooing at the same time. Usually you'll hear one or two cows now and then, but this was different. Every single cow was making noise, loud, panicked, and nonstop. Something had clearly scared them. Since I was the only one there, I knew I had to check it out. I went to grab my coat. Just as I reached for the door, I heard a high-pitched scream. Not a normal moo, but a terrified, almost painful sound from one of the cows. I froze. So something was very wrong. I ran upstairs to my grandfather's room. He always kept a hunting rifle under his bed. My hands were shaking as I loaded it. Then I stepped outside. The cows were still restless. I checked the barn first. Everything looked normal, until I noticed one stall was empty. One cow was missing. I was certain it had been tied up earlier that evening. Then I heard it again. A strange, strained cow sound coming on and coming from the cornfield behind the barn. As I walked toward the crops, I could swear I heard voices. Low, whispering. More than one person. That's when fear turned into anger. I fired 2 shots into the air. Instant silence. The cows stopped. The voices stopped. For a moment, I thought it was over. Then I heard footsteps inside the cornfield, more than one set. I didn't want to go in there. But I couldn't just hide while someone was trespassing on the farm. That's exactly why farmers keep guns. I stepped into the corn. The deeper I walked, the more I could hear movement all around me, crops rustling, multiple footsteps. Then I saw him. A person dressed completely in black, standing a few rows ahead. I raised my rifle and shouted for him to leave. I was not bluffing. He didn't move. I fired another warning shot. Still nothing. Then he slowly started walking toward me, arms slightly raised, almost calmly. That's when I realized I wasn't alone with just one person. Shapes started appearing between the rows. 6, maybe 7 more figures, all dressed in dark clothing, all wearing strange, expressionless masks. I was surrounded. They stood silently for a few seconds that felt like hours. Then they began chanting. It wasn't English. It sounded rhythmic, almost like a song. My mind raced. Were they planning some kind of ritual? That was my chance. I turned and ran as fast as I could through the rows. When I finally stopped to catch my breath, I fired several shots toward where they had been. I heard them scatter. Footsteps moving away, crops shaking as they ran. I hurried back toward the farmhouse, and that's when I saw it. In a small clearing near the barn, there was a cow's head placed in the center of a circle of lit candles. I nearly got sick. I ran inside and called the police immediately. I explained everything as clearly as I could. The operator said officers were on the way. Then I called my parents and told them to come get me. I waited upstairs in my grandfather's room, shaking, barely able to breathe. When I finally saw the police car lights outside, I've never felt that much relief in my life. The officer searched the barn and part of the field. Didn't he? He found the scene with the candles. Soon after, more officers arrived. It became an active investigation. My parents arrived shortly after and took me home. My grandparents didn't take any chances after that. They installed security cameras all around the farm. To this day, I still don't know who those people were. or what they were planning. But I know one thing. I was the only person home the night they chose that farm, and I'll never forget it.